This is a Japanese movie, and I just realized that when I really think about it, I honestly haven't seen that many Japanese movies. Live action movies, I mean. I've seen plenty of anime, but that's a bit different. And I watch foreign movies all the time, but for some reason almost never Japanese movies. And I really don't know why. But this one was getting some buzz, and it looked good, so I went to see it. And well, I don't think it's as great as people make it out to be, but it's definitely not bad. It's a good movie. About a strange family, a kind of a haphazard family. At first you're not really sure who's actually related to who and how their whole dynamic works. But it seems to work nonetheless, and they all live, 6 of them, in this tiny apartment. They're virtually living on top of each other, but they don't seem to mind that much. Financially, they also basically just scrape by, and like the title might suggest, they supplement their income by shoplifting. So yeah, it's a pretty unique setup, and the narrative is kinda loose too. It's there, driving the story forward, but it's just kinda in the background for most of the movie. Because the core of this thing is definitely the characters and their relationships with each other. That's the important stuff. The plot does come into play a bit more at the end, but until then it feels almost incidental. I mean, it's not. It matters a lot actually, but it's not the thing that you're paying attention to. You're paying attention to all the different characters and what they're dealing with and going through. And the characters are really good. The writing's not bad, but visually, well, it looks okay. It's not an amazing looking movie, it's kinda bland in that way, but I don't think it mattered that much. And overall, I liked a lot of what this thing had to offer. I enjoyed it for the most part. That being said, it did feel really long, especially that last part, the conclusion. There's a lot of good stuff in that last part too, but it just felt like it slowed to a crawl for some reason, and went on for way too long, and it's not a fast-paced movie to begin with. But yeah, for most of the runtime I didn't mind the pacing, but the end did really feel drawn out. So there's a lot of good stuff in this, and I enjoyed a lot of it, but as a whole I didn't end up loving it. And the characters were really good too, well fleshed out and all that. So that was easily the highlight for me and what really carried the movie. The way the characters interacted with each other and cared for each other just felt so convincing. I definitely believed that they were a family and had been living like that for years. So that was great, I liked that a lot. Now the story though definitely works, and I've seen far worse, but I feel like you kinda know where something like this is going pretty early on. That's not to say there weren't a few surprises too, but overall it wasn't exactly mind-blowing. But it was still a pretty peculiar movie and a bit more unconventional than I'd expected. It definitely did some things I didn't see coming, and it was a lot less serious than I'd expected too. I mean, there's a lot of humor in this. I don't know if I'd exactly call it a comedy, but it's pretty amusing. And kinda light-hearted considering the subject matter it deals with, which is a lot about struggle. But I guess the central message here is about family and love, and that you don't necessarily need to be related by blood to be a family. Family can be whatever you want it to be as long as you love and care for each other. I think that's essentially what this thing's trying to say, and I don't disagree. So would I recommend it? Yeah, it's not a bad movie, well worth a watch. So check it out, or don't. I'm not your dad.